What's good, y'all? Sifu here, and today I have one simple question for you. What is up with the Gumma Gumma no Mi? Before we get started, go ahead and drop a like on the video. Make sure you hit subscribe and the post notification bell for notifications on future videos, and let's get straight into it. So, the Gumma Gumma no Mi, at first glance, is your standard paramecia. The user eats the fruit. Once the user eats the fruit, they get all the properties of rubber. They can stretch like rubber. They can bounce like rubber. They take different forms of rubber. So, at first glance, the Gumma Gumma no Mi is really nothing special. But then, why is it so special? Is it any coincidence that this random rubber kid out of the East Blue is about to take over the world? Well, let's take a closer look. The Gumma Gumma no Mi allows Luffy to stretch his body. This is great for battles, right? He can stretch his body, which means that his attacks hit harder, they go further and faster than a normal hit would. But there are definitely advantages to your entire body being made out of rubber. For example, the gears that Luffy developed. Gear Second allows Luffy to pump the blood flow in his body faster and faster, allowing him to hit harder and, of course, move faster. Gear 3 allows Luffy to blow air into his bones and skeletal structure, making his limbs bigger and have more mass. Gear 4 is basically a combination of gears 2nd and 3rd. However, when Luffy blows air into his muscles, he compresses it and, of course, coats himself with armament haki. This is all basic stuff we know, but what other devil fruit can actually do these things? What other devil fruit gives you different forms? Have we seen any other devil fruit in this series that gives you this many different forms? We've also got to take a look at it from the standpoint of weaknesses. Now, remember, Katakuri's Mochi Mochi no Mi was meant to be Luffy's fruit, but upgraded. Everything Luffy could do, Katakuri could do better, right? Now, forgive me for doubting that. I know we got a lot of Katakuri fans out there, but I disagree. Katakuri's fruit is a special paramecia type. However, at this point, we've seen Jinbei rub it off with water, and we've seen Luffy eat right through it. So these weaknesses, the Gumma Gumma no Mi doesn't even have. Earlier in the story, Oda kind of made it seem like the Gumma Gumma no Mi's biggest weakness is that it can be cut, right? We've seen him and Zoro go at it, and we've even seen him back down from a fight with Mihawk. But at this point, everybody can be cut given the right haki circumstances. Plus, we've seen the way he took on Cracker. I mean, Luffy is not getting cut anymore. So the question is, does this fruit even really have any weaknesses besides falling into the ocean? That in itself makes this fruit special. And speaking of special, do we consider the Gumma Gumma no Mi a special paramecia type fruit? According to the One Piece wiki, the only difference between Katakuri's special paramecia Mochi Mochi fruit and a Logia fruit is that his body turns into a man-made substance. So Katakuri is able to turn his body into Mochi, therefore things can phase right through him without harming him unless the user uses haki. And this is due to his body being made out of Mochi, not an element. So does Luffy's fruit fall in this category? And the correct answer is, well, we don't really know. However, rubber is a naturally occurring substance, and there's no telling that Luffy won't develop a technique to where attacks can phase right through his body in the future. We've seen him base techniques off of enemies before. Now, remember in chapter 1017, when Who's Who mentioned that he got into a battle with Shanks, and during this battle, he lost the Gumma Gumma no Mi. But hold up, rewind. Why was the Gumma Gumma no Mi being guarded by the world government and being transported by a Cypher Pole agent? Does the Gumma Gumma no Mi really deserve the same treatment as, I don't know, the Celestial Dragons? I mean, is it really that important? Everybody, make sure you get your tinfoil hats out, because this is where we're entering the theory zone. I believe that in chapter 1037, when the Gorosei were having a discussion about a specific special devil fruit, this is the devil fruit they were talking about. It explains why in the most current chapter, chapter 1041, why they shifted their focus on eliminating Nico Robin to eliminating Straw Hat Luffy. They've put a specific focus on Luffy, and the reason is because they now know that Luffy is the wielder of this specific fruit. Now, I know what you're saying. Why wouldn't the government already know that Luffy has the Gomu Gomu no Mi? He has a wanted poster. He has a bounty of over 1 billion. Of course they know he has the Gomu Gomu no Mi, but that's the thing. What if it's not called the Gomu Gomu no Mi? What if its name was changed by the world government to prevent people from finding out what it actually is? It was mentioned in chapter 1037 that this particular fruit, the name was changed so that it would fade into legend. My guess is that they changed the name so that whoever became the inheritor of the fruit didn't even know what the fruit was about, and they'd have no idea the special power that this fruit holds. Unluckily, yet luckily for them, depending how you look at it, it fell into the hands of Straw Hat Luffy. Now, for all of you out there that's saying, Sifu, yo, you're bugging, they're actually talking about Zunisha. I hear where you're coming from, but if you look back at the panels drawn in chapter 1037, we see that this was actually Oda misleading us. The panels here are drawn and laid out in a way so that what's happening with Zunisha is taking place at the same time that the Gorosei is having a conversation. Therefore, it makes it seem as if the Gorosei is actually talking about Zunisha, but in actuality, the two events are separate. And yes, whatever happened with Zunisha is important as well. That's for a whole nother video, so stay tuned for that. However, in this conversation, the Gorosei is specifically talking about the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and they're coming to the realization that Straw Hat Luffy might be the most dangerous person in the world. Furthermore, it takes place after having a conversation with Shanks, who is the reason they lost the Gomu Gomu no Mi. He's the person that knows that Luffy ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And in fact, the fruit is so dangerous that they're willing to shift their focus from capturing the one person that can read the poneglyphs in the world, the one person that can get somebody to the One Piece, and the other person being Who's Who, a Cypherpole agent that has all kinds of government information. They're willing to let both of those people go in order to capture / kill Straw Hat Luffy, because now they have a code red situation on their hands. We have a person who is an inheritor of the Will of D. He's the son of the most wanted man in the world, and he's the wielder of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, a fruit that was originally faded into legend. I believe that 12 years ago, when Who's Who was escorting the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the world government had an idea of what it was. Therefore, they gave it extra protection. However, when Who's Who fumbled his mission and got it stolen by Shanks, Shanks had no idea what it was. Over time, Shanks, now knowing what it is, went to the world government, the Gorosei, to tell them, hey, I need to tell you about a specific pirate. Now, they already know about Blackbeard. So, logically speaking, why would he need to go back there to tell them about Blackbeard again? It's possible that when Shanks stole the fruit and Luffy ended up eating the fruit, that Shanks didn't even know what the reality of the fruit was. I mean, he knew it was a devil fruit and he freaked out about it, but that's because Luffy would just lose his ability to swim. But now, after years, he might actually be coming to the realization that he actually really screwed up. Shanks is all about balance, right? So coming to the realization that he gave the most dangerous fruit in the world to one of the most dangerous people in the world, being an inheritor of the Will of D, he might actually be going to the world government to warn them about what is about to happen. A very grim future in which an inheritor of Joy Boy's will, an enemy of the world government and the Celestial Dragons, is now the wielder of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, a fruit of legend that the name has completely been changed in order to erase it from history, a fruit that might possibly have all different facets of all different types of devil fruits, Paramecia, Logia, and Zoan, a fruit that Luffy might learn its actual name when it's awakened, because Luffy's fruit hasn't even awakened yet, and a fruit that might very well change the One Piece world as we know it. So I'd like to thank everybody who has made it through the video this far. It's a little bit lengthier, of course. I like doing these theory videos, so if you guys have any suggestions as to what theories I should look into in the future, make sure to drop a comment down below. Make sure to drop a like on the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, please. Let's help the channel. Let's help it grow. Hit the notification bell for future videos. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will catch you guys next time.